Here we go. We got Edge and Christian versus Chris Jericho and Eddie Guerrero, the Radicalz. Edge and Christian had to defeat the Mega Powers and the Shield to get to this point. Radicalz had to defeat Big Show and Mark Henry and 3MB. We have Chris Jericho and Edge starting this out. Both former giant WWE champions, as we have Edge trying to get on to a good pace to start out. Picking up Chris Jericho and slamming that head of Chris Jericho against the mat several times. He now picks up Jericho. He's going to whip him around, it seems. No, Jericho able to counter and get a headlock onto Edge. And able to put him into a giant suplex, stalling him up there, letting the blood rush to his head a little bit as he runs back and calls in Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero, original member of the Radicalz. They brought in Chris Jericho to supplement their other members who are not part of the WWE 2K14 roster, as they get a nice side suplex. Edge able to pick up Eddie Guerrero now and do another nice side suplex, sending him down to the mat. Another suplex as Eddie could have possibly grabbed onto the ropes there. And now Edge getting put into the corner and put down. Chemical Charisma by Christian. Nice sign there, as you see Eddie Guerrero attacking Edge into the corner here, as Edge with a nice clothesline sending Eddie Guerrero down to the mat. Flipping over Eddie. Edge gonna go into a submission maneuver here, as we see Chris Jericho trying to stop it, but not able to quite connect, and actually stomping on the leg of his partner Eddie Guerrero. Christian and Chris Jericho both exiting the area. As we see Eddie Guerrero suplex now, that back and neck hitting the mat. Christian getting the tag back into the arena, as he got a couple of shots here, and an enziguri from Eddie Guerrero. Whipped around the ring is Christian. Christian in a bad situation here with a double team maneuver coming in by Eddie Guerrero, and Chris Jericho drop to hold to an elbow drop by Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho now looking to take out Edge. Christian looking to take out Eddie Guerrero, but Christian got too distracted. Chris Jericho actually missing. Christian having to fight Jericho here. Jericho pushing away Christian, as Christian gets whipped back into the Radicalz corner very hard, and he goes for a reverse DDT, slamming him down onto the mat, and a kick to the side of the head, another kick to the side of the head. Mocking Christian is Jericho. Jericho gets punched in the gut. He got sent back away from Christian. A punch to the head and a push away from Jericho once again, as we get a side suplex now. There's a kick to the side. Jericho with a huge flip, landing onto Christian. Jericho getting taken out, and Christian running over to tag Edge back in. Edge, the fresher man now, with a couple of stiff kicks to Chris Jericho, but Chris Jericho counters with an elbow to that knee. As you see Jericho kicking over Edge. Several shots coming in by Edge, as we see a nice Hurricane Rana DDT. Picking up Chris Jericho's head and slamming it against that mat several times. As now a huge kick to the gut. Jericho with this nice leg sweep here. Edge ducking out of the way, slamming him down, going for a quick pin maneuver. 1, 2, and Eddie Guerrero able to stop that steal from Edge. Chris Jericho doesn't seem to be able to get out of that roll-up like maneuver. And now Jericho looking to perhaps tag to Eddie. No, he probably could have, as now Edge with a sunset flip into a pin. 1, 2. Eddie Guerrero once again saving Jericho as they tie up once again in the middle of the ring. Snapmare takedown as he picks up Jericho. Nice fisherman suplex, bridge into a pin. 1, 2. Keeps trying to get the quick pins, and Eddie Guerrero keeps having to make a quick sprint to get back into the ring. And we get a nice swinging neck breaker, sending him down to the mat, and a couple of stiff kicks from Edge as he picks up Jericho now. He's going to put him up for a couple of lights. Huge flapjack sending the face of Jericho into the mat. Edge looking to be dominating in the past few minutes of this match as he gets into a submission maneuver, quickly interrupted by Eddie Guerrero, but Eddie Guerrero now taken preoccupied by Christian, and Jericho sent to the outside by Edge. Edge also going to the outside here. As where in the world is he going to send Chris Jericho? He was dragging Jericho, but Christian interrupted him as Edge slowly takes Chris Jericho closer to the corner, I believe, as Eddie Guerrero whips Edge back into the middle of the ring. Christian and Chris Jericho fight on the outside still. Edge going back to the outside, resetting the count at 1. He's going to grab Chris Jericho, the wounded Chris Jericho, but Christian actually sending Jericho back into the ring, probably against Edge's wishes, but he is still doing damage to the man as he sends Eddie Guerrero into the barricade. Chris Jericho sent back into the ring by Christian. Edge sent back into the ring by Eddie Guerrero. The two legal men were in the ring for just a moment. Now they are once again Chris Jericho and Edge, the legal men for their teams. Christian, not a legal man. He's got to get back out of the ring. As we got a couple of kicks connecting and a couple of shots. As we got Edge trying to go for a big move, but Chris Jericho countering and setting him flat down on the mat. He's going to go for a pin, perhaps. No. He tried to get for a stop. Huge spear by Edge. Eddie Guerrero seems to be taken out almost. He's going back to the outside. Hitting Edge going for the pin here. Eddie Guerrero might be able to get in there in time. Yes, but it seemed that Chris Jericho was able to actually kick out of that spear. And Chris Jericho now putting Edge up on the top rope. Will Edge be able to counter this Hurricane Rana? No. He gets slammed right down onto the mat. And Chris Jericho calling for a big move here. Perhaps the Lion Salt or a huge Bulldog. As Edge calling for a comeback. He's trying to get a set of moves going. Try and get it back in his favor. As you get a nice suplex back into the middle of the ring. What will Edge do here? What will Jericho do? We have a nice running DDT. As he gets him back onto the mat. And picking up Jericho once again. They run into each other. And Jericho tries to make a run for Eddie Guerrero. But Edge interrupting Guerrero. Chris Jericho able to take down Edge. And Eddie Guerrero gets the tag in by Chris Jericho. As Eddie Guerrero tries to make a big amount of movement in this matchup. But Edge ducks out of the way and tags in Christian. Two fresh men in this matchup. He goes for a pin. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Eddie Guerrero has enough energy left in him. Not quite all the energy in the world. He needs to take a 2 count, a little bit of a breather if he can. Couple of punches to the head of Eddie Guerrero. Now, Eddie looking to see stars after those couple of punches by Mr. Charisma Christian. As we see Eddie Guerrero go up to the top. He's actually going all the way up to the top rope here. But he gets interrupted by Christian. Captain Charisma gonna go for a giant superplex all the way up on the top rope. All the way into the middle of the ring. He slams Eddie Guerrero right down there. Right in the middle of the ring. As Eddie Guerrero goes for a flip kick. He actually lands that. And Christian looks to be out. Will he be up for a 3 count? 1. He's up for a 1 count, folks. He's got a lot of energy, but a Hurricane Rana by Eddie Guerrero might help that out for him. He might actually stay for a little bit longer now. As we see Christian with a couple of big strikes to Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero now able to grab the back and go to a full Nelson. He's got him into a full Nelson, but Edge attacking Eddie Guerrero out of that full Nelson. Couple of big shots and a discus shot sending Eddie Guerrero over the top rope as Christian shakes some cobwebs out of his head. Some of those stars need to get back aligned. As Eddie Guerrero with a couple of big elbows to the face of Christian. Eddie Guerrero getting sent back in. This is just the first match of our final 8, our quarterfinals. As you see, a huge punch to the face to Eddie Guerrero from Christian. As they tie up once again. Eddie Guerrero grabbing the leg now, trying to twist that leg, sending him down. As we see Eddie Guerrero attacking the arm of Christian. And he's going to drag him back in the middle of the ring. Go for the pin here. Go for a little slow. 1, 2. Huge elbow by Edge. Able to save his partner Christian. Couple of shots to the chest to Christian. And a Hurricane Rana coming in by Eddie Guerrero. As Eddie Guerrero going to go for those kidneys. And going to try and make some more headway against Christian. He seems to have a lot of energy left in him. Enough for that counter. Sending him down to the mat once again. And now Christian calling in the very fresh man Edge to try and take down Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero able to duck out from underneath that giant strike and catch Edge off guard. He whips him around the ring. And Edge with a tilt-a-whirl slam applied to him. Slamming into the back. 1, 2, 3. No, Edge able to kick out. Christian did not end that count. Edge was able to kick out there. As we see that leg being targeted now by Eddie Guerrero. Perhaps for a submission maneuver later on. As he's got Christian set up. No, Edge set up for 1 suplex. 2 suplex. And a 3rd suplex. The Three Amigos. As he set him up in the middle of the ring. He's got him and Chris Jericho trying to defend him. But not able to, as Christian is able to break up that count. As he tripped up Edge for perhaps a 619 if he was tagging with Rey Mysterio. But he is tagging with his fellow WCW alumni, Chris Jericho. Edge now attacked by Eddie Guerrero with the gory bomb here. Gotta send him flat down onto the mat. And will he try to get a pin here? No, he's actually gonna go for a submission maneuver, trying to torture that arm and face of Edge. He's very close to the ropes there, but Christian able to interrupt the hold before too long. Probably did not get too much damage on him, but Eddie Guerrero still in the driver's seat between these two men. But before that, a giant flapjack. Edge with a giant flapjack might just be able to turn this all around, but a nice kick by Eddie Guerrero, and he's got him up again for another gory bomb as he sends him flat down onto the mat. Will Eddie Guerrero be able to finish this match against Edge? We got that huge splash over the top as he goes for a pin now. Will Christian be able to get there in time? 1, 2, yeah. Christian was able to get there. He's got enough hustle here as he goes for another gory bomb onto Edge. Slamming him so many times. Edge must be out cold. As Christian desperately tried to grab towards Edge. Eddie Guerrero going to set up for a submission maneuver here. And Chris Jericho blocking, taking out Christian. And Edge taps out right away. The Radicalz are your victors.